And so we come to it, the spoiler section of Divergent. So, Divergent. If you want to hear the original spiel over there, that's the way to get to the original spoiler-free. So this is going to be talking about spoiler things. Some of the logical things that happen are just weird things that happen with characters. For example, a character will come on at the very beginning, and then she'll suddenly disappear. And let's talk about Maggie Q, because she starts at the beginning, she helps the Triss get away, so that way she can pretend, if she wants, to be abjuration group, so that way she does not get killed for being divergent. And then you see her again, she's a fellow Dauntless, so they run into each other, and she's like, okay, don't talk to me. I will give you a tattoo, but don't talk to me. But then, next scene that you see her in, she's having a big discussion about being a divergent and how dangerous it is. And it's like, what? You said, don't talk to me. Where did this change? Where did this change? They never let you know. They never let you know. And she just came on all of a sudden to do that. There was no transition between don't talk to me and talk, okay, let's talk. Have a heart-to-heart. There's no transition there. When it comes to, say, some other characters, like later on we come across when she has to break in for the climax, which, actually, let me talk about the climax real quick here, because the climax was not as strong as it probably could have been. The climax is pretty much the Dauntless military group is injected as transmitters, which people who did that, the scientists, are able to use to turn them into mindless drones who just follow the orders that they want. And it's like, okay, there's nothing new there. I'm sure that this has been done. I mean, what's the brand new thing there? Not to mention, they're using the military who have been turned into drones as a means to stage a coup against the abjuration group, the public servants. And it's like, no! The head honchos in the military group, they don't care. They're like, okay, yeah, we're doing this, no problem. No, they wouldn't do that. No, they wouldn't. Because they're the military. The military has the full power. The military would be like, okay, we're going to take over ourselves. We're going to stage our own coup. And it's like, why would they give up the power? They have all this power. Why would they give it up? It made no sense. I mean, maybe it gets explained in another book, or maybe it's explained better in this book. I don't know. But based on what I saw, I was like, no, this would not happen, I don't think. It's not a logical thing. So they got these transmitters, and the climax follows where Shailene Woodley's character, Triss, has to go in and has to shut down the machine. And on the way, she's got her dad and the leader of the abjuration group and her brother with her. And they get halfway through, and then they get to the part where there's this one Dauntless character, the military person, and it's one of the people that she knows. There's also a recruit. It's like, okay, wait, why aren't you turned into a drone? It's like, oh no, they didn't want to turn me into the drone. They need me. Why him? He's an untrained recruit for the most part. Why would they choose him to be the guard? It made no sense to me on that point. So she takes him captive. They go deeper into the facility until they come across a guarded door, and she's like, okay, is that the place where they got the machine? He's like, yeah, that's the place. And then, poof, he's gone. He disappeared, and you don't see him again, actually. He's gone entirely. And it's like, okay, wait a minute. You didn't show him get knocked out. You didn't show him get shot. You didn't show him run away. Where did he go? And that happens also with the president of the abjuration group who's with them, because all of a sudden he's there and then he disappeared. I mean, you could say that he was guarding the other guy, but then where did they go? Why were they not involved in anything that happened after that? And it's just some of those logical things that don't make sense. Because you see the president guy again at the end, and the only reason he came along on this mission is because he's the main character's boyfriend's father, and you get to see the tension between them and see, okay, is the boyfriend going to save his father? And yes, he is. It's like, what's the point of bringing him along? Have him meet in movie 2 even. I don't know. But, I mean, that just, the kind of logical thing just kind of bugs me, because they're like, okay, wait a minute, there's gotta be more. Come on, explain! I like explaining. Many people may not, but I like explaining. Give it to me. And so let me see. That was that part that kind of bugged me, but I still stand by it. I enjoyed watching everybody learn how to fight. I don't know if I said this in the last one. Okay, technically speaking, this is my 4th time doing a review now, because the first 2, which were the original and the spoiler talk, well, I didn't get any audio on those, and now I have to do it all again. I don't remember what I said in one or the other. So, I mean, it's just some of the logical things just kind of bother me. And then, so the way they get sorted into what group they think they would be best at is done through a sort of mind test, which the person who's doing the test is watching on a screen. And so when Trish is revealed to be divergent by her at the very beginning, she's like, okay, I'm going to just say your abjugation, get out of here, keep quiet about it, and just keep your head down. It's like, okay. How can you do that? Because I think that in this dystopian future, mind you, is not dystopian present. In this future, they would have a way to just save the files as the record of the aptitude test. And apparently they don't. So, okay, but here's the thing. My computer can do screen capture. Why can't their screens that they're watching this on also do that? It would be the more futuristic idea. It makes more sense. I mean, if we can do an MRI and we can get scans of the brain, I mean, we're almost pretty much at the point where we could get the images. If we can get the images projected on a screen, we should be able to capture it. I don't get why they didn't do that. But then also, they have that same kind of thing later on when they're in the Dauntless place where they're testing to make sure that you can control your fears. And Trish gets out of that by doing the Divergent thing, because what you're supposed to do is prove that you're going to think like a Dauntless person and you're going to use tools and your strength to get out of something. But no, she does the Dauntless thing, or Divergent thing, which is, remind yourself, it's not real. This is all hallucination. And it is. So that ends the testing there. But the problem with that is you got one guy in the room, and conveniently it happens to be the same guy who actually would care about making sure that she makes it through, because he's just like her, and it's not a surprise at all. And she's got only him in that room looking at the same screen that they used for the aptitude test in order to determine whether or not she passes this test. Why aren't these tests saved as a video record? Because one person is not strong enough, or good enough rather, to determine that, okay, you have passed the test. No, you have not passed the test. It's like, that's kind of a big judgment call. Maybe I missed something. It's entirely possible I missed something. But I do think that these video screens would be saved as record, and these records would clearly show to anybody who looked that she is not a normal Dauntless person. She is divergent. So, yeah, that's the spoiler talk about the things that bug me. I mean, if you don't mind that kind of thing, you'll really enjoy this movie. Even if you do mind it like I do, it's not going to bother you too much. You're just going to be there for the fun time. It's not a philosophical movie. This is an adventure fun movie. So, take all this for what it's worth. And I recommend seeing the movie if you're into this kind of thing. I mean, science fiction, dystopia, usually not my thing. But in this case, it was pretty well done. So, take that for what it's worth. Thank you for watching. Cheerio. And farewell.